Welcome back, everybody. In the world of sports, concussions, they have been a major concern for years, and now a company right here in Chicago is using cutting-edge technology to take a deeper look into the brain's activity. And here to talk about this one is Mike Palm from Athleico Physical Therapy. He joins us live with details on this new concussion technology. Impressive stuff, Mike. Very important, especially in this day and age when so many parents are considering whether or not to let their kids play football. What exactly is this technology you're going to show us today?
Yeah, thanks for having me. This technology is called BNA, or brain network activation. Basically what we're doing is we're having the subject actually perform a very simple task while we're measuring what their brainwaves are doing. What the computer then does, it actually tells how networks are firing and how our neurons are firing, and kind of really get a deeper understanding of how the brain is functioning as opposed to how just the person is functioning, which is what a lot of the current tests that we use actually does today.
Without getting too medical or too technical, so people like me don't completely understand it, what exactly are we seeing when you do this, and what can those results show us for safety going forward?
Sure. So what we're seeing right here with the patient is they're listening to tone, quite simply, and they're listening for a very specific tone, and when they press the button, we're kind of getting an idea of what the brain is doing at that time. What it tells us is to say, okay, the brain is functioning at X percentage, or as compared to how they were before it hit. So what we would do is we'd have this person take this test before season. Then if they were to sustain a concussion in the middle of a season, we would be able to then give that person a test again and say, okay, you're at X percentage of what you were at before you started your season. So if we're trying to figure out when it's safe for them to return to play, we say, okay, we want you to get within a range of where you were at the benchmark, or what you were before the season when you took the test.
So Mike, is that person that's sitting next to you, are they actually testing on that right now?
They're actually testing on that right now, yes.
Explain to me why this is so important. You mentioned you do this before the season, and then you can measure it against what you see once they get hit during a year. How is this valuable, and how could you apply this in other sports, and what can people do going forward with this?
Sure. So it's not just football. It's any sport that really has a chance of sustaining a concussion. What we know is about 10 to 30% of athletes who play in contact sports may sustain a concussion. So to have this information available to say if they're actually able to return to participation safely. That's the biggest decision that medical professionals have when someone has a concussion, is when can they return to participation safely. So this is the first of its kind technology that says the brain is how it tests how the brain is functioning. We have a lot of other tests out there that say how a person is functioning, that measures reaction time and processing speed and memory. That just kind of measures how the person is functioning as opposed to how the brain is functioning. So what we can do is we can tell from beforehand and afterhand what actually is happening with the brain itself.
Just over the last couple of weeks, we ran a story about a helmet now with one of the local high schools that has technology inside of it that can measure impact and hits, and how a brain can suffer trauma. How is this test that you're showing and explaining to us currently, how is it different from what's out in the market now?
Right, so what you're explaining is kind of measuring the force of a hit, or how hard a hit. We don't know a lot of what type of level of force will cause a concussion, but what this will do is say an athletic trainer or a physician says, yes, you have a concussion. We can take this technology and say, okay, this is where we're at when we're getting the person back to play. What the current technology, what we use is say, okay, where are your symptoms at? Are you feeling better? Are you feeling better? It's very subjective. It's very much to the point where it's very much up to the athlete. So it's very easy for an athlete to say, yeah, I'm feeling fine. It's, and we would possibly return that person to participation prematurely. Where this, we can actually say, what is the brain doing? It's objective. It's actually tangible. We can look and see it with our own eyes from a medical standpoint. It's not something that we're just trying to guess and trying to figure out how that athlete is feeling. We can objectively see it.
Mike, clearly cutting-edge technology. Where is this? You say you're a Chicago company, obviously. Where is this currently being used, or is it still in the testing patterns?
Right, no, so we're commercially available in 5 centers throughout Athleico. It's in Aurora, Bannockburn, LaGrange Park, Orland Park, and Niles. And then we have lots of information available as far as scheduling appointments and so forth on our website. It's on athleico.com/BNA.
All right, Mike Palm, very, very important stuff, trying to protect individuals in the world of sports from having brain injuries. Appreciate that. Keep us posted on all your progress.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me this morning.
You got it. Our pleasure, Mike. Thank you very much.